Hi everyone, it's Dr. G, and I'm here to talk to you about psychological theories of socialization and socialization into gender. So let's go ahead and get started. And you might ask yourself, why is a sociology professor talking about psychological theories of socialization? And the quick answer is because psychologists have done some awesome research in the field of how we become who we are. So indeed, there are three psychologists that I want to mention in this video: Freud, Piaget, and Erikson. And we're going to start with Sigmund Freud and the development of personality, psychoanalysis. So according to Freud, our personality develops through 5 psychosexual stages: oral, anal, phallic, latent, and genital. In addition, he said that we have 2 basic needs or drives that are present at birth. The first one he called eros, which is the life instinct for sexual and emotional bonding. The second one he called thanatos, which is the death instinct, an aggressive drive. Freud said that both eros and thanatos are opposing forces operating at an unconscious level that create deep intertension. So Freud combined these 2 basic needs and the influences of society into a model of personality with 3 parts: the id, the ego, and the superego. According to Freud, the id is the unconscious basic drives that demands immediate satisfaction. The superego is the cultural values and norms that are internalized by an individual. In other words, it's our conscious. And the ego is a person's conscious efforts to balance innate pleasure-seeking drives, which is the id, with the demands of society, which is the superego. So according to Freud, when the ego succeeds, it creates an emotional, healthy person. However, when the ego does not succeed, it creates inner conflict and can lead to personality disorders. Let's turn our attention now to Mr. Jean Piaget and the development of thinking, cognitive development. And according to Piaget, children pass through 4 stages of cognitive development. The first stage he called the sensor-motor stage. This is from birth to approximately the age of 2. And according to Piaget, children understand their environment by touching, tasting, smelling, looking, and listening at the world around them. They use their senses. So there's not necessarily a tremendous amount of cognitive development at this stage. However, when we go to the pre-operational stage, stage 2, this is from about the age of 2 to 7, children develop the ability to use symbols, which requires a higher level of cognitive development, such as numbers and letters. However, they may not really understand what those symbols mean. It's when we hit the 3rd stage, according to Piaget, the concrete operational stage, that children start to understand what those symbols truly mean, like numbers and letters. But they must be concrete concepts. At this stage, children cannot understand concepts such as truth, honesty, and justice. That will occur during the 4th stage, the formal operational stage, which occurs from about the age of 12 and beyond. Children now become capable of abstract thinking. You know, it's very interesting that there have been a lot of studies showing that about 70% of humans successfully make it through the formal operational stage, which means that about 30% don't. That's a little scary. I think that one of the reasons that we don't successfully all get through the formal operational stage is because we are not taught and encouraged to think critically. Erikson and psychological development. So, unlike Freud, who focused on the early years of personality development, and Piaget with cognitive development, Erikson took a broader view of socialization. According to Erikson, we face challenges throughout the entire life course, and you can see those listed on your screen. We start with infancy, from birth to about the age of 18, when children develop trust or mistrust. Is the world a place to be trusted? Toddlerhood, up to about the age of 3. When children learn to cope with the world confidently, can they be confident in the world around them at such a young age? Preschool, from about the age of 4 to 5. Children must engage their surroundings, such as people outside of the family. Then we go into pre-adolescence, from age 6 to 13, when children enter school and strike out on their own, followed by adolescence. This is the teen years. This is when young adults struggle to identify their own identity. And then we move into young adulthood. This is when people form and maintain, hopefully, intimate relationships, followed by middle adulthood, when the challenge is making a difference versus being self-absorbed. Can I contribute to society? And finally, old age, when we look back at our life and try to determine if things went well or not. Last thing I'd like to talk about in this video is what we call socialization into gender. There are two terms that often get confused that I would like to clarify: sex and gender. Sex refers to biological characteristics that distinguish males and females. Biological in that we do not choose it. It is what it is. Gender refers to social characteristics that a society considers proper for its males and females, masculinity or femininity. So what basically happens is that gender socialization sets society's children into two different courses based on them being male or female, okay? Unfortunately, all of this can lead to what's called gender stratification. Males and females' unequal access to power, prestige, and property on the basis of their sex. You know, there are many groups which teach us what they feel is appropriate for gender stratification. And perhaps one of the most important ones, at least early in life, is the family. And so what we are seeing in research is that girls, even today, are rewarded for being passive and dependent, while boys are being encouraged to be active and independent. Certainly not what I personally would advocate for. We should advocate for more equality among the sexes, but that's a topic for another video. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.